The name Dumbledore is synonymous with the world of Harry Potter, or the wizarding world as it's called today. I could bet my house on there not being a single Harry Potter fan who doesn't recognise the name Dumbledore. And when we think of Dumbledore, we immediately think of the Hogwarts headmaster Albus Dumbledore, who has had an incredible impact on magical events over the course of the 20th century. However, as interesting as Albus Dumbledore is, his family history is also worthy of a discussion, which is exactly what we're going to talk about today. So keep watching and enjoy the complete history of the Dumbledore family. Guys, before we start, I'd like to talk about today's sponsor, Surfshark. This company have continued to sponsor me throughout these difficult times, so I'd be very appreciative if you kept watching and hear what I've got to say, as this product is really beneficial for you all. Surfshark offer you an incredibly powerful VPN to protect your internet privacy. In today's computer age, hackers are constantly trying to gain access to your bank account details, your social media passwords, and access to your personal information, amongst many other things. This can all be prevented when browsing under Surfshark's protection. Not only does it protect your privacy, it also offers you a lot more. Different countries have different viewing restrictions on what content can be viewed. Therefore, by logging into a VPN based in another country, you can gain access to that content that may be blocked in the country that you live in. For example, I've always used the Australia VPN, but it's recently come to my attention that you can gain access to the Fantastic Beasts: The Crimes of Grindelwald movie on Netflix by using the Indian VPN, which is pretty cool. If you join Surfshark today, you'll get 83% off, 3 extra months for free. You'll also be able to use Surfshark on as many devices as you like, there's no limits, and finally, there's a 30-day money-back guarantee. Basically, if you're not happy, if you're not satisfied, then your money will be returned. It's a no-brainer, guys. So sign up to Surfshark right now by clicking the link in the description below. The name Dumbledore is a name that stretches back centuries, as its meaning is a forgotten old English word for bumblebee. It's noteworthy to mention that the line is facing extinction, as the latest and last descendant of the male line, Aberforth, never married nor had any children. However, this video starts with the family's earliest known recorded descendant, Percival Dumbledore. Now, Percival was an honourable man and quite a talented wizard. He had an array of spells in his arsenal and was quite a strict father. He was born sometime before 1864, and it's not exactly known if he attended Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry, but with that being said, as he was British based and his sons attended the school, I'd say it's safe to correctly assume that he also attended as a boy. Now, there's no information on Percival's father or his ancestors, which once again shows how badly the Potter universe has stagnated since it finished, which is rather frustrating, as it would be awesome to see more of a backstory on the family history. Anyway, we'll work with what we have. So, Percival was married to Kendra, who was best described as a fine woman, and a fine woman she was. She took great care of her family for a number of years. Born in 1851, Kendra was quite a powerful witch, but as her family grew, so did her responsibilities as a mother, resulting in her rarely using her wand. The family then moved from their home in Mold on the Wold to a new house located in Godric's Hollow, and it was here where their lives completely turned upside down. Both parents would end up dying within 5 to 8 years of each other, leaving their children without proper parental guidance. Percival was always protective over his daughter Ariana. She was already delicate enough before the attack that changed everything. 3 Muggle boys maliciously attacked her in a manner not described in the book. The attack itself left the girl mentally and emotionally scarred for life, which resulted in her becoming unable to control her magic. Percival, in a furious rage, launched a scathing attack of his own through the use of magic, which resulted in the Ministry interfering in order to bring Percival to justice for using magic on Muggles. Fearing the repercussions for his daughter, given her condition, rather than his own well-being, Percival refused to tell ministry officials what he had done. Without satisfying evidence to justify his actions, he was sent to Azkaban for life, where he died not long after being incarcerated. He gave up his own freedom and even his life just so his daughter could have a chance at hers. Kendra, as you can imagine, was devastated at her husband's imprisonment, followed by his death. However, she continued to look after her children as best she could, paying particular attention to Ariana. Kendra's life ended in an explosion caused by Ariana's loss of magical control. She was extremely uneasy when experiencing the rage from the compressed magic within her. Even though her mother's death was an accident, she was a real danger to everyone around her. Aberforth was very protective of her and spent most of his time caring for her, even more so than Albus did. Ariana was killed during a three-way duel between Albus, Aberforth and Gellert Grindelwald. Aberforth never really forgave Albus for what happened that day, and the truth is that it was so much more than that. They lost so much because of what happened to Ariana. Their father died in Azkaban because he wouldn't reveal the truth. Their mother put herself in harm's way daily with Ariana's unstable mindset and eventually lost her life. And what do they get out of that loss? More loss. The person it was all for, the person they should have protected, was now gone as well. And I fully believe that is why Aberforth became so hostile towards his brother. Now, Aberforth is someone we actually do have information on. He's 2 years younger than Albus and had an estranged relationship with him for decades. Aberforth attended Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry, but his house is unknown. In my opinion, I believe it's fair to assume that it was Gryffindor due to how confrontational he was, Gryffindors being known to seek glory. Despite not being his older brother's biggest supporter, he still recognized the seriousness of the war and the fight Albus was trying to win. Acknowledging that Severus Snape was a follower of the Dark Lord, he threw him out and barred him for eavesdropping. He also played a crucial role in the Second Wizarding War by feeding the students of Hogwarts through the secret passageway between the Hog's Head and the Room of Requirement, although the cooking wasn't 5-star according to some students. He'd also seen Harry's pleas through the glass mirror shard and sent Dobby to aid and basically saved the lives of Harry, Ron and Hermione when they were all trapped at Malfoy Manor and just seconds away from Voldemort's arrival. He participated in the Battle of Hogwarts, bravely warding off the Mentors and fighting Death Eaters, his main concern to protect the students he was with. It really angered Aberforth that Albus never really displayed any real sorrow over what happened to their family and especially their little sister. He thought Albus just didn't care. That was until he finally discovered how much pain his brother was in over Ariana's death, when Harry told him about Albus drinking the Emerald Potion. Now, I've mentioned earlier on that the Dumbledore name will actually cease to exist with Aberforth, as he has no children or wife. Last but certainly not least, we have Albus. Guys, when it comes to Albus, I'm not going to go through his entire life story here, but I'm going to highlight some key moments where his decision making basically affected and altered the course of his life, and that starts with his mother's death. The Dumbledore we all know and love is not the one that I'm speaking about now. Albus greatly resented having to look after his siblings after his mother's death. He wanted to explore the world with his friend Alpheus Doge. Instead, he was stuck, now in Godric's Hollow, wasting his talent. He made Aberforth feel like he and Ariana were nothing more than a burden to him. Albus Dumbledore wanted to be the greatest wizard the world had ever seen, and he'd get the chance to achieve his goal when he struck an immediate friendship with Gellert Grindelwald. Together, the two young wizards planned on elevating wizardkind to the top of the food chain and enslaving the Muggle race, even if it meant that they would be recognized as criminals and dark wizards. It was the unfortunate and tragic death of his sister Ariana during a three-way duel between he, his brother and Gellert that finally seen him remove himself from the world he wanted to change. By placing himself in Hogwarts, Albus was barricaded off from the rest of the wizarding community, while having a heavy focus on the students that needed his teaching and his guidance. Even though he was called upon more than once to help the ministry, his most notable act being the defeat of Grindelwald in 1945, his life was dedicated to teaching. He was still able to grow and harness his great power as he mastered the Elder Wand for over 50 years. His final act reflected that of his father decades earlier, sacrificing his life for the people he loved. It was also the prime example of doing something for the greater good, the phrase he coined all those years ago. So guys, that was my video essay on the complete history of the Dumbledore family. Is there anything you want to add in? Do you have a video idea from any franchise you want to suggest? Please do so in the comments section below. Thanks again guys, thanks for sticking with me, and I'll see you all in the next video.